basement of La Penta. This is WICR.
Hello, Iona College. Welcome back to the Sports Vault. Jersey Joe and Big Shot Rob, we were ready, all set to move into the NFL. But Rob, we've got some breaking news. I want you to break it down for me.
For all you baseball fans out there, the biggest contract signing right now, Nelson Cruz has just signed a 4-year, $57 million contract with the Seattle Mariners to add another big bat to their lineup. Joe, what's your take on this?
I don't know, because I had a feeling all along that he was either going to end up back with the Orioles or he was going to go to the Mariners, because we always see the Mariners' name like floating around every time there's like a big free agent. Their name's always in the conversation somehow. So I'm not surprised that they went after him. I just don't know about the fit. I don't know what the Mariners, I mean, look, they signed Kyle Seager to that big deal. Last year they pick up Robinson Cano. Now they add Nelson Cruz. You've got to think that, I mean, you look at them last year. Last year they were 87 and 75 in a very tough AL West division. I mean, that's a lot of games. They were in it with the Angels and the Athletics. So, I don't know. You would think that they'd have to be better. But, I mean, Rob, I always go to you for your baseball expertise. What's your take on it?
I like it, but I think they should have gone maybe 2 years.
Not 4? Yeah.
Sign him until he's 36. Don't sign him until he's 37 or 38 when he's on full decline. I mean, he's a big bat that that the Mariners really need. But, I mean, is the fit going to be okay in Safeco Field? Because that's a huge ballpark.
That's the thing. Is like, he had it made with Baltimore and Camden Yards. Like, he had the perfect situation. I don't know if this ballpark is going to work for him. I think the numbers, no question, are going to go down. It's just going to be, are we going to witness the trend that we've been seeing when you give these guys the big deal? Is the numbers going to come down a ton, or are you still going to get pretty good production out of him? But what do you think? I mean, what about the Mariners, what they're building in general? Are they kind of putting together a relevant product that can really make a legit playoff push consistently?
Yeah, I believe so. I think that their pitching staff is intact, and I kind of see this signing as good because they've been missing big bats in the lineup. Robinson Cano made it clear last year, we need another batter in this lineup. We saw what Kyle Seager did for them last year, 25 homers, 96 RBIs. Cano had a very productive year, batted over 300. And I mean, the Nelson Cruz signing is great, but I think you need at least one more bat in there. Nelson Cruz, big year last year, had 40 home runs, 108 RBIs. But it's going to be a decline year this year. I saw it last year because I have him on my fantasy team for the past 2 years. And last year, the guy was blasting the whole first half of home runs. Second half kind of went on decline. And I could kind of see it going into this year.
I'm with you, and that's part of the reason I was so surprised that they won 87 games last year. I like their pitching a lot. I mean, especially a guy like Hiroshi Iwakuma, a guy I don't think anyone pays attention to, but he's a heck of a pitcher. We all know how good King Felix is, but they've got a good thing going there, and I just was surprised with the lineup there. But I mean, they give Kyle Seager that big deal. Now they bring in Nelson Cruz. You've got 3 pretty solid bats, but I'm with you. They do need one more big one. But it's going to be interesting because we see from Oakland, which we'll move into this and hit it at the same time, the Josh Donaldson deal to the Toronto Blue Jays. They lose that big bat. How is that going to affect the Athletics?
It's really going to kill them because now, Joe, we look back at last season. You trade away Cespedes, your biggest bat in the lineup. You trade away Donaldson, who had 98 RBIs last year. Who do you go to now in that lineup? Who's going to be that run producer who's going to give you over 90 RBIs a year? I mean, this is a move, Joe, we know all these years Billy Beane had to make. The Athletics weren't going to be able to afford him, so you trade him, get a couple prospects, get a player in Brett Lowry, who had a all right year last year. But this trade for the Athletics, I think it might actually kill them coming into the season.
Were you surprised by the signing of Billy Butler for them at all?
Yeah, I kind of was.
I was a little surprised by that move.
Because Butler has been on the decline since having his huge year with the Royals a couple years ago.
Yes.
And I don't see him as a great fit for Oakland. Even their pickups of Ike Davis, that's another move where they're saying he's starting at first. And he's not going to produce for you. And I kind of think Oakland's going in the wrong direction this year.
Do you think they take a big step back? I mean, let's be honest. They're probably going to lose John Lester. on the offensively, they lose Cespedes, now Donaldson's gone. I don't know. I think the Athletics might take a step back.
Oh, they are. The only thing that's going to keep them, Joe, alive in this division is their pitching, because they have 2 pitchers coming back from Tommy John surgery. They still have Samardzija. That's about the only thing that's going to save this Oakland team, if their pitching staff could stay intact. Otherwise, they're doomed.
We will see if the Billy Bean machine is going to run out. But one more thing I want to hit on is the Toronto Blue Jays. To me, they've been building like the weirdest roster these last couple years. When they brought in Reyes and then Burley, and you give Burley credit, he's pitched really well. Now this offseason, they're in the headlines again. They bring in Russell Martin, the 5-year, $82 million deal. Now Josh Donaldson giving up a lot of pieces. To me, I don't know. I just don't really. I can't really figure out what they're trying to build here. What's your take on what the Blue Jays are trying to do?
They're trying to build a playoff contender, not a team that's going to win a championship right away. I think just a team that's going to keep improving every year, try to make it to the next level. Because, Joe, they finished second last year in the AL East. But the thing is, you make all these moves, when is it going to work? You've signed all these big guys. You have Batista, Encarnacion. You bring in Martin and Donaldson this year. Pitching staff's pretty decent. You have Jose Reyes in this lineup. And the question is, will this lineup actually work this year? Because they have so many big bats, and it's just a shame to see that they haven't really fulfilled in the last couple of years.
I like Encarnacion a lot, too. Aside from dealing with those little nagging injuries here and there, he's an excellent hitter. They've got pieces on this team. I just don't. It's kind of a weird I didn't get. Russell Martin's a very good catcher, but 5-year, $82 million deal is insane.
Yeah, especially for him. He's not a guy who's very productive. He's not a 300 hitter. He's not a guy who gives you over 25 homers a year. And I was kind of a little bit freaked out with that contract. Not crazy whatsoever.
Yeah, but we'll see. Look, the Orioles now. I don't think that losing Cruz is like the be-all, end-all for the Orioles. I really don't, because I think they really struck gold with him. I don't think they expected to get what they did out of him. They're getting a lot of big bats back. They're getting Matt Wieters back. Manny Machado is back. I still think that the Orioles, to me, are still the team to beat when it comes to the AL East.
Oh, yeah, they still are, Joe. This Orioles team, they're young. Buck Showalter has them on the rise. The pitching's still intact. And this team, that you're going to watch them run the AL East for the next couple years.
There you go. Well, we managed to squeeze a little bit of baseball into it. Now, when we come back for the third time, we will readjust, get into the NFL. So stay with us, and we will be right back breaking down all the excellent NFL action.
This is the New York Sports Machine on